Hi, and welcome to the last lesson in PHP Security Pitfalls. In this final video, I would like to point out to you some security resources for you to check out. Now, in this course, I've tried to provide a basis for a security mindset and share some of the most common code vulnerability issues in web applications. But learning about security is an ongoing process, so I thought it'd be good to point you to some of the great resources that are out there. Now, of course, I can only mention a few, and chances are I'm leaving out some really good ones. So if you know of a good security resource that you think the world should know about, just leave it in the comments below so we can all learn about them. Please do make sure the information in these resources is recent though. Okay, here we go. OWASP.org is the website for the Open Web Application Security Project. And while it's not specifically targeted at PHP, it contains a wealth of invaluable information about security threats and how to successfully fight them. There's also a top 10 project which lists the most common vulnerability in web applications, along with source code and examples. And then there's the CWE, or Common Weakness Enumeration. Now, they have a top 25 of the most dangerous software errors, which is a pretty solid resource to check out as well. Now, the top 25 is listed at the bottom here. You can click through the examples, and there's also code examples and technical details and stuff. And then, of course, there's the security pages in the PHP manual. Now, while it doesn't address as many issues as you would expect, there are some good examples in there, for instance, regarding so-called null byte attacks. Now, a resource to watch is this PHP security book at phpsecurity.readthedocs.org. And although not all of the pages have been completed yet, it is indeed a very sound resource on security. And the best thing is, it's directly aimed at PHP developers. Now, of course, security is not a matter of coding alone. It all begins with a secure server setup. This page here lists 25 security best practices for system administrators. And while it's 2 years old, it contains quite a few good tips on how to harden your server setup. Now, as you will undoubtedly have noticed, I have not used any frameworks in this course, and there's a reason for that. Frameworks are great, especially security-wise. Now, most of them include loads of security measures that help behind the scenes, not only to make your life as a developer easier, but also to help harden your web apps and make them more secure. Now, if you do use a framework, make sure to check out their security-related libraries. But also be careful in your assumptions about the security of their code. A lot of framework query builders, for instance, use PDO parameter binding to protect your applications against SQL injection attacks, and that's really great. However, it's often also possible to pass in raw SQL queries into a query builder. And in that case, you should be careful not to introduce any SQL injection vulnerable code yourself. So make sure to read the docs and inspect the source code. And then, of course, there's packages. Now, there's some really good security libraries that can be found here. I already showed you some of them. However, be careful not to include libraries with vulnerabilities of their own into your project. And a promising resource in that respect could be Sensiolab's Security Advisories Checker. Now, it's still in beta, and it's basically a front end for the Security Advisories database, to which you can find a link here as well. Basically, this Security Advisories Checker takes your Composer log file and checks it against a database of packages with known security vulnerabilities. Now, the last resource contains a lot of vulnerable code, and that's of course the source code accompanying this course. You can find it at github.com/joostvanveen/php-security-pitfalls. And with that, we've come to the end of this course. I hope you liked it. If you did, please spread the word. For now, safe coding, and I'll see you soon.